Given that you talk about XRP, when can we see such a kind of product or service in India? And given that there is a change in maybe Supreme Court judgment has also happened around that, do you think that this kind of solution can also enter India now?
Yeah. So I think so. A couple of things, right? So most of the markets that we go in with this particular solution, generally there is already a agreed framework. And let me explain to you what framework is. So what we need is we need an exchange, a regulated exchange in the country to be able to make the transaction. So for example, again, the transaction starts from GBP to XRP, but for XRP to INR to happen
Correct.
at scale, ideally what we would want to be there is a regulated exchange, because in that regulated exchange, the consumer rights are protected, making sure that exchange has got a robust security system so that none of the security of the users or of the cryptocurrency gets compromised, right? So I think for us, ideal situation would be if India could have an enabling regulation like Mexico has, like Philippines has, like Japan has, like UAE has, many other countries around the world, which essentially says, hey, you know what? There could be cryptocurrency exchange or digital asset exchanges which can trade XRP to INR. Once that happens, then clearly we can make a big dent in the remittance experience that our customers are having today, right? And ideally, our views, and as you know, Ripple very closely works with the government, whereby we bring the benefits of cryptocurrency. So what happens is today, lots of times we get driven by the newspaper, right? As you know, cryptocurrencies have a negative halo around them, and a lot of it is driven by just by speculation. It's driven by scandalous stories in sometimes that get printed in the media. But actually, there are good use cases as well. And the way we think about it would be evolution of digital assets is like the early days of the internet. So if you look at 90s, internet was known by Napster, right? So pirated music, pirated software, drug use, and a lot of nefarious activity. But what the governments did was they never banned the internet. They essentially says, hey, you know what? We are going to regulate use cases on the internet. People cannot sell drugs. People cannot do trafficking and lots of other cases. But sending an email is absolutely legit. So in our view, we are working with governments around the world, including India, to say, hey, you know what? Ideally, if you can have a framework for cryptocurrencies to trade for legit use case, like for example, for remittances, for micropayments, for gaming virtual goods to be translated from one digital asset to another, and also for the 9 million developers that India has who can participate into the blockchain ecosystem, then it will be good. But of course, things that Indian government is worried about, so for example, some of the things that the regulators are worried about is AML and compliance laws. I mean, those can easily be administered once you have a regulated framework versus having unregulated sort of free-for-all ecosystem, because that always is not conducive for either the healthy development or for customer protection.